forgive your parents, guys. Not because they were right, but because you deserve peace. You deserve happiness, love and protection that maybe you didn't receive from them when you was growing up. And that's deep. That's heavy. And that can hold us down. You ever felt stuck and not known why? Because the truth is, some of us grew up in pain. And some of us inherited trauma that we didn't ask for. And that can play out in life over time. And if we're not careful, it can be a real blockage on our path to healing. And sometimes it's not even you. It's just what was handed to you. And forgiving your parents is so important. Why? Because a lot of the stuff that we experience in adult life comes from our parents, comes from how we grew up, comes from the things that they instilled in us. And we can hold resentment for that. And resentment compounded can be a really negative thing, and we don't want nothing negative in our life, especially when we're healing. And this is tied so deeply to us that studies show that when you're an adult and you're in a relationship, your love language is the thing that you craved most when you was a child. And what if I told you that's true? Because my love language is physical touch. And when I was a child, that was missing. I mean, when we think about forgiving our parents or speaking to them or confronting them, we was raised to never go against our parents, a lot of us. We was raised to never question them. So speaking about them may seem as if you're being disloyal to them, but that's not true. Speaking about your issues and what you're facing is being loyal to yourself. I'll say that again. Speaking about your issues and what you're facing is being loyal to yourself. And the truth shouldn't offend anybody. No, the truth shouldn't offend anybody, especially when it's your truth. And when we don't forgive, when we hold grudges, when we hold resentment, that can tie us down, that can weigh us down, almost like a balloon. You know them party balloons, right? And they got the weight on them to keep them down. That's the resentment. That's the unforgiveness. That's the unhappiness with the situation. The moment you cut that, what happens to the balloon? It flies away. And that's what I want for you. I want you to forgive your parents, guys. Not for them, but for you. You deserve it. You deserve to be free. And the truth of the matter is, you may not get all the answers that you want, and that's okay. Because again, this is for you and not for them. And they may not be at the stage where they're ready to talk about it. And there's a saying that I love so much. It says, the more aware you become, the less angry you get. I'll say it again. The more aware you become, the less angry you get. Why is that? Because your awareness goes up. Your emotional intelligence goes up, increases. And when your emotional intelligence goes up and increases, you start seeing things for what they are. And you get more awareness of a situation. So because you now have more awareness, you now know that they may not have that same awareness. So you cannot be as angry. Or you will be less angry. And when I read that about the love language, it blew my mind. And I knew then I had to forgive my parents. And it shows you how deep this stuff is. How your beginnings shape your becomings. And we're here on this channel to heal. We're here on this channel to focus on life, on our journey going forward. And a part of that is letting go of certain weights that hold us down. And forgiving your parents is one of them. And it's a big topic, and it affects lots of people in many different ways. And many different people got many different issues with their parents. And forgiveness doesn't mean reconnection. It just means peacefully detaching. like the balloon. When you cut it, peacefully floats off. And this is why forgiving your parents is so important. So you can stop bleeding from the wounds that you didn't create. You see, it's no longer about what you didn't receive as a child. It's about what you can do today. And it is your job now to give your inner child the things that they were craving when they were young. Whether that be affection, whether that be love or protection, the things they were crying out for. And when you do that, you become unstoppable. When you do that, nothing can hold you back. Forgive your parents. They may not have known better. I mean, some of you are at the age now that your parents were when they had you. Think about that for a second. Think how difficult your life's been and some of the issues you faced. Now imagine them facing those issues with a child or children. And I'm not making excuses for them, but if you put yourself in their shoes, you may see how hard it was for them. I done that. I put myself in the shoes of my parents. I saw how hard it was for them, and that helped me to forgive them. That helped me to see things from their perspective. And some of our parents may find it hard to take accountability. You may never hear the answer you want to hear. You may never hear the answers you want to hear. You may never hear the words, I'm sorry or I love you. But it still be your truth. It still be your forgiveness. It still be your peace. And it still be what you deserve. You deserve that. And if it's not given to you, you take it by peacefully detaching from the situation. It's that simple, guys. And it's that easy. But forgiving your parents is a big one. Why? Because they are our main caregivers when we're younger. They are a large part of the reason we are the way we are now. It's time to remove the anchor, guys. It's time to remove the barriers that may have been stopping you or holding you back. And I believe this is really a key part of that. I believe this is something we should really look into. And if you believe it too, drop a comment in the comment section and let people know how you felt about this one. Let people know how you feel about forgiving your parents and if it's easy or if it's difficult. And if it's difficult for somebody else, give them your support. And that's how we build a community where we can keep showing up for each other. A safe space where we can love on each other. Not worrying about no funny stuff, just loving on each other. Because people need love too, right? The world's difficult and people need love too. Let's give ourselves permission to give ourselves that love. I'll say that again, I like that one. Let's give ourselves permission to give ourselves that love. Through loving on each other, within a group, within a tribe. Hear me now. This is so important, guys. So important. I want you to do that. I want you to lock in. I want you to forgive your mum. I want you to forgive your dad. And this starts extending to aunties, uncles, cousins. And the more you forgive, the more you release. Remember the bloom? The more that comes out of your life, the more stress, the more strife, the more anger. We start getting rid of that. And then when you start getting rid of the stress, the anger, the resentment, you now have a blank slate to work on. And you start building from the ground up. And that's how we do it. But I'm going to keep making these videos. I'm going to keep showing up. It's a beautiful day. All praises to God. I give him the glory. And remember, this is not about blame. This is about peace. This is about choosing your peace over pain. You get to choose. You get to heal. You get to live free of that. And that's beautiful. Honestly, that's beautiful. The more emotionally intelligent you get, the easier it is to have difficult conversations. And let's face it, in life, we do need to have difficult conversations. In life, there will be difficult conversations. In life, there will be difficult moments. In life, there will be problems, there will be issues. So it's training you to be able to speak about that. This is why it's so important, guys. And that's what I want you to be. That's what we can be together. After you can find it in your heart to forgive, you may be able to confront. It's a process, there's steps. First you must forgive, then you can confront. But when we say confront, people think argument, and it could, you know, parents do find it hard to accept accountability. But again, the more aware you become, the less angry you get. If you want me to make a video about confronting your parents, I will. And like I said, we live, we grow, we rise, we build for this beautiful day. I'm gonna keep showing up for you. I'm gonna keep making videos, and we're gonna get there. Like I said, this channel's about healing. This channel's about purpose. This channel's about forward motion and growth. Like and subscribe, guys. Let's build that tribe. And as I always say, hear me now, because who can't hear must feel, and who does hear will heal.